Gemma here. Just a quick rejoinder. Something just occurred to me to share, and I'll tack on a video at the end of this so you can see some of the things that are going on currently. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. This has to do with ongoing restrictions, ongoing. It's a foretaste of things to come. It's not pleasant. I don't want to say too much because this could get censored, and I want you to see it. You may have already seen it, I don't know. I'll tack it on to the end of this video. You may have already seen it. If you've not seen it, then it's certainly worth seeing because it's not good, and it tells us what is going to come. Genuinely or personally, I firmly believe that especially when I look at all the things that are going on, the pandemic, or some would call it the pandemic or the scandemic or whatever, the jabs and so on, that our time is nearly done. Many people have asked, is the vaccine the mark of the beast? Well, I'll tell you this, I don't know. Personally, I don't know. What I can tell you is that if it isn't, it certainly depicts what is to come. One of the things that a lot of governments tend to do, especially in the West, where coercion is done by deceit and delusion and trickery. Before the lockdown came last year, they tested the populace by saying they were going to implement a lockdown for the elderly and the vulnerable and the infirm and care homes for a period of time. And people did not understand that, on the one hand, that was already dangerous, that was bad, that was something they should have kicked against. Instead, people were like, no, that's a good idea, let's do it, because these people need to be protected. Failing to realize that the elderly, they need people, they need company. Isolation is not good for them. But everybody went with it. I said, this thing is not going to be good for the economy. Loads of people were supporting it. Not just to me in conversation, but we could see it in the papers, the surveys, and so on. What they did not realize was that, this is my personal point of view. This is purely my personal point of view. What they did not realize was that the government was testing water. They were checking how much resistance are we going to get. So what happens? The government doesn't just specify these restrictions to the infirm, to the elderly, and to those in care homes. They put a blanket lockdown on the entire population. So in China, the lockdown was on Wuhan. In parts of the world, in fact, everywhere else in the world, the lockdown was on entire countries. And here in the UK, it was certainly on an entire country. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that whenever the government wants to do something draconian, they bring it in by stealth, and they say it. They'll give the impression in the press that there was a leaked document. What you don't realize is that they are telling you what they are going to do before they do it. Such is their audacity and in my opinion, the cruelty of what they are doing. But anyway, yesterday I came across a report, and it's now official. I think it was the day before yesterday, actually. It was the day before yesterday. I came across a report that was mentioned in one of the papers. I'll look for the link and put it in here. And has become actually official that they are going to implement compulsory vaccinations for those who are working in the care industry. In American parlance, this would be retirement homes. Here in Britain, this is called the care homes, right? And that it was going to be compulsory for everyone who worked in the care home to take the vaccine. I can't be bothered trying to hide the word anymore. I might as well just say it. Now, for me personally, it should be a person's choice. Personally, I wouldn't take it, but it should be a person's choice as to whether they take it or not. Because technically speaking, the way vaccine works is that it should protect you. So if you want the protection, if you don't want to be afflicted by the disease, then you take it. I had vaccines when I was a kid. When I was a baby, when I was maybe 3 years old, 4 years old, I had vaccines. Measles, polio, smallpox, and things like that. What's going on now, personally, I think is very different. Anyway, what they said is that it's going to be compulsory if you're a care worker to take the vaccine. And what they are considering now is whether it's going to be compulsory if you're frontline health staff or health services personnel, like I'm just speculating, doctors, nurses, and the medics, the ones who go into people's homes when there's an emergency and so on. The problem with this is that, in my view, again, like what happened last year, they're testing the water again. They're testing to see how much pushback they will get. One of the things I said, the moment I saw it, I was like, well, 4 months, that's kind of, 16 weeks is 4 months. I was like, that's kind of good, because in my view, if I was working in the care industry, that for me is like my employer telling me, you've got 4 months notice to quit your job. And I'd be looking to retrain and do something different. But that's just me. Usually when I see danger coming, I take evasive action. I don't hide my head in the sand and hope that it goes away. I take evasive action. So that's the way I see it, because that's the only way to escape. In my opinion, they plan to do it and they will do it. Bar a miracle, bar God doing something, they are going to do it. But I think they're also using that as a ploy to then bring it in and make it blanket for the entire country, for every job out there. Which is interesting when you look at what the Bible says in Revelation chapter 13 about the actual mark of the beast. Without this mark, you can neither buy nor sell. Now, I'm not saying, again, like I said, I'm not saying the mark of the beast is the vaccine or the vaccine is the mark of the beast. That's open to speculation. Quite frankly, I doubt it. But one thing I will not deny is that I can't help thinking that this is a huge dress rehearsal for the time when the mark of the beast will be unleashed upon humanity. And in the meantime, I personally think this thing that people are putting into their bodies is causing damage of some kind. So I just want to share that with you, and I'm going to tack something to the end of this that is going to show you a bit about what is going on in the world just now. God bless you. Bye.
Okay, and they come out here. It's like a prison camp. This is where they exercise, have their half-hour free time. That's insane. They can't leave. What?
Excuse me, is this your timeout from the red flight? Is this the timeout from the red flight? What? How much time do you get? How much do you get? Half an hour?
You can actually a couple of times if you want to.
Okay.
A couple of times a day you can.
You can escort it up. It's based with
What?
the security on every floor.
You're joking.
There's full security on every floor, security on every lift. There's 20 to 30 security guys in the lobby, so you can't come out.
Wow.
And you're social distancing here. Exercising.
You can't speak to me, you gotta be kidding me.
No, excuse me. He can't speak to us. It's his right. They are not prisoners. I'm having a conversation with him.
Yeah, I know. You can just go off your phone.
No, I'm talking to him.
Yeah, you can take your permission and come.
You don't need permission, we're outside.
Need your permission.
We're outside.
Permission?
Dude,
I don't need your permission to talk to somebody across the fence. I
No, you
need
don't.
your permission. I do not.
No, our rights.
I can talk to whoever I want to talk to. No, yes, I can. Yes, I can. You go find out before I report you.
Please find his name. This is wrong. You cannot tell him who he can and can't speak to.
If I am wrong, you can go to the office and...
We don't need to go anywhere.
Anyway,
We're having a discussion. Thank you.
but now you understand, right?
My goodness. Okay, and that's the £1,700 you pay.
1750.
50.
Okay.
We're so sorry.
Don't worry.
have a good one.
Look after yourself.
Take care, you too.
Okay.
Bye bye.